We are all in on Kaspa, but let's take the temperature of the market. Let's jump right on into it. All right, guys, so today, Kaspa's price is sitting at 14.57 cents, down 1% for the day. We did get back over 15 cents, and then we fell back down a little bit. This is what I want to talk about today, the temperature and the heartbeat of the market and Kaspa specifically today, okay? And I want to show you something on the charts that might give you some optimism, and then I'm going to explain what I actually did yesterday as far as going all in on Kaspa. And I'll explain exactly what I mean by that at the end of the video. So what I want to do here is come take a look at TradingView, because this is going to show us some pretty interesting information about what is going on right now. Now, as everybody knows, missiles launched in Israel by Iran, and this happened on October 2nd. Okay, what I want to do is go back to October 7th of 2023, because something fairly similar happened. And I think this is relevant because both of these conflicts have to do with Israel, and the team from Kaspa is from Israel, and some of them still live in Israel. So I think it's very relevant that we take a look at this. Now, if we come back over here to October the 7th of 2023, let me blow this up so you guys can see it better. You'll see this red candle right here. That is when the conflict between Hamas and Israel started. Now, what I want to do is I want to take a measured move from the start of that week to the bottom of that red candle. And we have 15.78% downward action. Okay? If we now come back over to the week we are currently in, where Israel and Iran just started a conflict, and we take a measured move from the top to the bottom of this wick down here, we've got a 14.79% red candle. Very similar to this 15.78% red candle. Okay? The similarities are striking, and what I want you to look at now is what happened after this red candle and this conflict had started. We essentially had a move of 278, almost 279%. That is almost a 3x from the bottom of that red candle after the conflict. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks later, we have 3x'd the price of Kaspa. Okay? Now, I'm not in any way insinuating that we are going to have that exact same thing play out here, but what I'm saying is this conflict potentially, at least for the markets, is short-lived. I'm not trying to downplay anything that's going on over there, but when it happened before, we had a very short-lived 1-week red candle, and then it turned green again for 5 weeks in a row, and we 3x'd the price of Kaspa. Okay? We are also combining that with the fact that we are in October, and I think that we are going to, at some point in this month, have some pretty significant green candles for the market as a whole and for Kaspa. So when you put both of those together, things don't look very scary. They actually look very promising for the market as a whole. Now, you might be asking, what does a move like that look like if we, in theory, follow the same exact path? And I will show you. We take a measured move from the bottom of that wick all the way up to 290%. You're looking at a 54.5 cent Kaspa. And remember, that only happened in 5 weeks. So things can change on a dime and fly to the upside before you even blink. And if I were a betting man, I would bet that something like this is going to happen, if not in October, in November. Obviously, that's just a bet, right? I'm speculating here, but if history tells us anything, October, November, December should be very bullish months when it's all said and done. So what I want to do here is give you guys a little hopium, because I know there's a lot of you that are having a rough go at it with the last number of months in Kaspa, because we have had sideways action for a very, very long time. And I'm here to tell you that that is completely normal. It happens all the time. And in my experience, the longer the sideways action, the more explosive the move when we finally get that move. And it's only a matter of time before we get that move. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Okay, so I want to touch on the hash rate for Kaspa is still above 1 exahash, and at peak on some charts it went up to 1.2 exahash. On here it's saying 1.15 exahash. Okay? The hash rate is still rising, which means there are more and more miners coming onto the network. There are more and more miners wanting to profit from mining Kaspa. There are more and more miners that are securing the network. And all of that is a huge sign that there's nothing wrong fundamentally with Kaspa. We are just in a period of consolidation. That is it. Okay? Bottom line, that is it. And again, I will reiterate, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when Kaspa takes its next leg up. And the market as a whole takes its next leg up. And all of the pain and all of the agony and all of the frustration that has been building up for a lot of us, including myself, for the last God knows how many months, is just going to release. The weight is going to come off the shoulders, and the euphoria is going to come back, and we are going to feel good once again. I promise you. And it will happen very soon. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about today is what I ended up doing yesterday. Okay, we had a pretty big drop down to the high 13 cents range, and I decided to deploy the vast majority of the rest of my stable coins into Kaspa at around the 14-ish cent range. Now, I did that because we had a pretty big correction, but I also don't know that I see Kaspa in general going down much lower than that. Could we go a little bit lower at some point in time this month? Yes, we could. But with the conflict in the Middle East in the news, and it being what some are saying a black swan, I don't know that that's a black swan per se, because there have kind of been red flags and things telling us that this might happen anyways, and a red flag comes out of nowhere. I don't know that this came out of nowhere anyways. It seemed like a good time to deploy some stable coins. And I know that we don't have a whole lot of time left before the market starts turning around again. And what I wanted to do was get all my stable coins deployed. I still have a little bit on the side just in case we do go lower, which I'm not necessarily expecting, but I also know that it's a possibility that that does happen. So I left a little bit there, but the vast majority of them were deployed, and the vast majority of that was deployed into Kaspa. And I think we are on the verge, after this correction right here, of some upside movement like we haven't seen in a while. And what I didn't want to do is miss that upward movement, because I know from past history that the legs up that we get when we're starting a bull run come out of nowhere. They don't wait for people, and you blink an eye and you will miss it. And I didn't want to miss it. So that is where I stand on Kaspa. What I'm going to do here in the next couple of days, you guys, I will show you my portfolio. Let me know if that's actually something that interests you or not. I'll show you all my percentages. Maybe it doesn't interest you and you don't care, and I don't, maybe I don't make a video on that. But anybody who's interested, let me know in the comment section, and I will let you guys know exactly what I hold percentage-wise and what projects. And when I say I went all in on Kaspa, I don't mean that I own 100% Kaspa and nothing else. I mean I went all in the rest of my stable coins to up my Kaspa bag from where it was. I still own other projects, but the majority of my portfolio is obviously in Kaspa. So that's what I meant when I go all in. The rest of my stable coins, the vast majority of those, went all into Kaspa, and I am all in for the most part into the market and ready for the next leg of the bull run to start, is what I meant by those comments. Let me know also in the comments, you guys, when you think we will actually see this next leg up, when we will actually see Kaspa grind its way out of this sideways motion that we've been in for so long and finally eclipse and blow past the previous all-time high of roughly 22 cents. I would love to know your guys' opinion. Do you think it's going to happen this month? Do you think it's going to happen next week? Do you think it's going to happen next month? Do you think it's going to happen by the end of the year? Do you think it's going to happen Q1 2025? I'd love to know your opinion. I personally think it's going to happen before the end of this year, and I think that there's a good chance it happens by the end of this month, early next month. So, in the meantime, guys, continue to pack your damn bags before it's too late. I will see you in the next video. Peace out.